Hi, my name is Tam. I'm with Create Business, and next to me today, I have got Toph from Living It Live.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Toph. Thanks so much for joining me all the way from Vanilla today.
Yeah, yeah, yep. In not so sunny Benalla today, but that's
And
okay.
it does look really chilly. Usually, you and your business are based in Bendigo, Central Victoria, and really glad to have the opportunity to chat to you about your business and your expertise in doing something that all of us are encountering at the moment, live streams.
Mhm.
Um, Tell me about what you do.
Yeah, so I have a business here, as Tam said, called Living It Live. We aim to make events more spectator friendly. We do a number of different things. Live video streaming is one, live GPS tracking, event timing, anything else to make an event more spectator friendly. This is before COVID. I was kind of half between my old job, which was outdoor education. I love hiking, climbing, skiing, all that sort of thing. And now, and a little bit with a business, and I just do whatever came to me. But COVID has definitely changed my life because live streaming has been such a big demand in the last 18 months or so.
Yeah. I can see we've got two people with us. Welcome. And I think, Toph, they're through Facebook.
Yeah.
I found out that actually, like, just as we were coming in live, everybody, Facebook platform collapsed and wasn't going to let us to go live, but luckily just at the last minute it has, because LinkedIn won't let me go live either, interestingly. But while you're here with us for the next 10, 15 minutes, if you've got a question or idea or something you'd like to ask Toph, please pop it in the chat. We can see it coming through. Um, Toph, I'm really interested in, that idea of live streams where, your business initially was about extreme sports and places that audiences couldn't access. And our idea of being an audience has really dramatically changed, of course, in the last 18 months, which has helped you grow a very successful business. Tell me about that idea of audience and what it takes to really engage that audience on a screen.
Yeah, it's well, it's a funny question because it's not from the content's not necessarily for me to decide. Well, for an event it is for a sporting event. So say if I talk about sporting events, I my passion is orienteering. I used to compete at a high level orienteering base, so I want to bring all the GPS tracking, all the video that I can to the big screen, the LED screen in the arena, but also to people that can watch online. And so uh, for me choosing that, I have to try and tell the story. I have to tell the event of the day. Okay, so who's made a big mistake orienteering? Uh, who's coming into the cameras? What can we see? How far behind are they with times? So using all those three parts as uh, is what helps engage the audience for a long time. You might grab them for 5 minutes, but if you don't have that engagement of content, you race. I do the Hudder Desert Motorbike Race. Thankfully, this one happened this year. We just squeezed in July, literally just squeezed in July before lockdowns and all those kind of things. Again, but yeah, how do I make a 4-hour event interesting? What can I do? So we use drones to give a different perspective. We use the tracking. We use cameras on the ground. We try and get interviews when we can of things happening in pit lane, all that kind of stuff. So your content is what's going to engage people for the long time. And that's your sports and stuff. Conferences, I film and try and make it engaging, but I'm not delivering the content, which is different to what happens to the events. The events, I have to produce the content.
Mm. But I
And
think
then,
sort of comment. Oh, sorry, you were going to
now
do.
you go.
I think what's common, but in those, two things that we've probably experienced today is having that stable platform You know, is that really essential thing for the audience to, you know, find the live stream and, you know, view that live stream. So it's not only knowing that content and your audience, but actually having that technical, all those pieces in place to make sure you get to that audience. And I think when I've talked to you before, I've just really been amazed at how you've like got plan A and plan B and plan C, and you've got plan B as well, I suppose.
Yeah, live environment. It's like you've got one chance. We've got this one chance now. Yes, we could record it, and we are recording it, but you've got that one chance to get it right. So having the most reliable stuff you can. So for my big events, I use fiber as the video transmission, because anything wireless is generally rubbish in the places I need to go, kind of thing. But then on top of that, that's just getting the signals to me. But then when you talk about getting it out there, you do need redundancy. Like, so I'm using video encoders that are bonded video encoders. So it's using multiple internet connections.
Have you got some there with you, Troy?
I do have one here. So I haven't put the antennas on it, but we've got a Telstra modem in here, Optus modem in here. I usually plug another one in the back. I can add phones to it. It takes your HDMI or your SDR connections. That goes to a server before it then goes on to the distribution or the content delivery network, i.e. Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of thing. So for me, working in remote locations, because a large amount of my work in the last 12 months has been funerals, I have to have reliability. And if I don't have backup and redundancy in what I do, then families sometimes are forgiving with funerals, but sometimes aren't with such a sensitive place. Same thing, like say had a desert race this year, we actually put a paywall on it. People were paying to see it. If I had any issues when people pay to see it, that's not going to be great. So I have to have plan A, plan B, plan C. Something fails, you bring the next option in.
The other things, and clearly where you are now, Toph, is that you're very remote.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, you know, 5G's not out there. So you're working across, you know, people who provide different 4G services and have different, you know, service providers that can pick up where one might be dropping out.
Yeah, for sure. So like Hada Desert Race, it's about 60k south of Madura. You put 3,000 people in that area and the Telstra network does absolutely nothing. Thankfully, the Optus network is good. So my tracking devices have to be on Optus, otherwise they won't work. My internet, I have to use as many Optus as I can to get the video signal out. Yeah, Telstra.
I know that. So the volume of people impact the Telstra tower.
Yeah, because it's a remote community, the tower's only got so much bandwidth. So that Telstra might I don't know what it is. Telstra might be delivering, say, 200 megabits to that tower, and then you put 3,000 people there, then you get a fraction of that 200 megabits, and you can't make a call unless you have a cell phone repeater that I do in the van. So I get good service in my production van on Telstra because I have a repeater that gives me better signal, but everyone else can barely do anything on Telstra in that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So I need one of those black boxes in my life.
Which ones? These ones or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was really interesting. Just as we were preparing to go live, Toph and I get a message from the live streaming app that I use that Facebook is down. Yeah. Facebook, this our live streams are going. It's like, what the hell am I going to do? So, and you know, when and how does Facebook go down? So that having that source of where your you know, live stream event is going to, not only having the the bandwidth to broadcast the video, but having that destination so your audience can find it. Have you been in situations where you've got, like, you know, you're about to do a funeral right now, and maybe it's on Facebook? Have you got, how do you work that out? And there's so many people trying to get in there and watch it.
Yeah, so I definitely have. I think the more you do live stuff, the more issues you're going to come across. Hopefully, the more issues you come across, the more solutions you have in your bag of tricks. You just if you don't learn from what goes on, then that's your fault, really, isn't it? But yeah, a few weeks ago, there was a period of about 2 weeks where I was having pretty big issues between different things. So, like I said, that video encoder uses a server. Sometimes you have issues with that, but then you've got your destination, and most funerals I use Vimeo. Vimeo had this funny issue where if you sent it a really high quality bitrate, it would pretty much not work. But if you sent it a lower quality rate, it would work. Vimeo is usually smack bang really quick at fixing these issues. It took them about 5 days to really work out what was going on and how it was happening. So in that time, before they knew what the issue was probably going to be, I had to use something else. So I swapped from Vimeo to YouTube. I just have my YouTube things there as backup if I need be. I don't use them largely for streaming funerals because of copyright music detection. There's automatic things that Facebook and YouTube both do, and they can mute, delete, block your stream without any warning around copyright music. But this day or two, I had to change a couple of them really, like within 10 minutes before going live, I was re-embedding the YouTube link into clients' websites, all this kind of stuff to make sure it would go live to people. Funerals, they just had to delay it. We were 5-10 minutes late on one of them. The other one started on time. I was trying to do two at once, but yeah. Yeah, if you don't have a backup in mind, then you could run into trouble. So
Yeah, so there's two backups there, the actual video stream, what's carrying it, and then the destination, really.
yeah.
And yeah, I do a few live streams and I haven't encountered the destination for. I just totally assumed that Facebook would be working. I've got you for another 3 or 4 minutes. I might just let my dog out. If there's anyone who's with us who's got some questions, I've got a question I'd like to ask you, Toph. I'll be 2 secs.
Yeah.
Just some, special live stream action in my home. Yeah, please do post any questions in the chat for Toph. Toph, we had a quick conversation before just about the idea of viewer fatigue and, what that means. I mean, clearly for funerals, you've probably got a different sort of audience that is, looking for that connection and that intimacy. In a time I just can't contemplate what it would be like to go through that. What are you finding in your work as someone who's an expert in live streaming and that idea of fatigue, what it might mean for businesses?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I got no real numbers to quantify or justify what I'm about to say. But yeah, as you say, funerals, weddings, people want to attend them. They happen once, so they're just going to tune in and go watch it live or watch a replay. It's something that's sensitive. It's something that they need to do to process their own grief and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, for conferences and other things, I think just as a broad general thing, I think there's probably a device fatigue from the last 18 months of having to do everything by a screen, and that potentially makes it harder for you to engage people in content where they're going to learn. Like, I think people, which is there's a bit of an oxymoron or kind of opposing each other, but I feel like people will still sit down and watch Netflix or scroll Facebook or do all that basic mind-numbing stuff and not really think about the fact that they're in front of a screen. But when they have to consume and kind of learn off a screen, I think it's maybe some fatigue there. How do you combat it? I don't know. Like,
Turn all of life into a sitcom.
that would work. The other one would, I don't know, try and make, how do you make your content engaging, or do short snippets? So I've got a client that I'm doing a conference for this weekend, for example. She normally does a full day, 9 to 5, in-person event, and we stream it for those that can't be there. But rather than doing a full day, this week she's doing 2 3-hour days kind of thing. So we'll do some on Saturday, some on Sunday. And that just splits it up, breaks it down, so you're not necessarily in it. So short chunks of time's probably potentially the key, especially when you've got to learn, or not blabbing on for too long like I am right now.
Well, I think that's a really good point. Like that careful thought into design of delivery is also another important part of live stream. And, you know, understanding your audience really is quite important. So I know you've got, you're about to start working at a funeral. I wish you all the best for today. And I'm just so pleased to have met you. And congratulations on, you know, getting your business off the ground and making it happen and building a team around you as well. Well done.
Thank you. No worries. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Troy.
No, all right. See ya.
See ya.